Hey, day 129 of Hey, what are you doing today? 129 days. The world is a funny place. It really is. I mentioned a couple days ago how I was just struggling with this barrier of 200 pounds. I thought it would come pretty easy to crack the 190s, and I've been fluctuating back and forth, up and down, and a couple days ago I made the conscious decision. I might have been just 2 days ago, but the decision that, before I would do anything, I would ask myself, does it benefit the long-term goal? Does it, and that has a strong relation to diet. If what I'm eating, I ask myself, beyond that, but just specifically in this circumstance, if I see something, I ask myself, how does it benefit the long-term goal? And I've been that one little question has been pretty helpful. But anyway, just randomly, I normally just weigh myself. I decided at the beginning, just to weigh myself once a week, and not get too caught up in the ups and downs that I knew I would go through on that side of the goal with a weight loss and the physical fitness. But today, I just randomly decided, just step on the scale and see where you're at. And how funny is 199.9? I mean, it couldn't have been more perfect. Just there it was, 199.9 pounds. I cracked the barrier by 1/10 of a pound. Pretty exciting though. And it's the other part that's peculiar is I would guess about a week ago, I'm not sure how long ago, but I decided to start doing my push-ups, something that had been on my list of things to do every day, and something that I was just overlooking, just kind of ignoring. It was on my task list, and I kept seeing it. Finally, I was like, you know what, screw it, just do it. So I just started doing it, and that's quickly evolved into now not only am I getting my 20 push-ups in the morning when I come home at night in the evening. For the last 3 days, I've taken some time to lift some weights, and that's starting to feel really good. And it's funny how doing one little thing kind of triggers and gets the ball rolling for other things sometimes. The other element that's interesting to this whole situation was I recently decided to start looking into successful people that are successful for different reasons, whatever the case might be, but just incorporating that into my daily learn a little bit about somebody that's been there and done it in some way, shape, or form. And it's kind of peculiar, the people that have, for whatever reason, and I'm not being selective, all this stuff is just kind of coming to me, which is something else that I want to talk about today. But the people that have come to me, that I've been reading about or listening about, I've got Warren Buffett, Sam Walton, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is the other one? Alexander the Great. Those are the 4 people that I'm learning about, and each one has their own interesting story. I mean, I had no idea how funny Arnold Schwarzenegger really was. He talks about he's in the early stages of his bodybuilding career, and he's new to America and can barely speak English, and everything's kind of new and fresh. And he talks about how he came from the post-World War II era, and how he was raised without an Austria, and how poor he was, and just an amazing perspective. And then he comes here to America, and how funny things are. He talks about just random things, wrecking a piece of great furniture. At one point he wrecks a Dodge. He's got a Dodge, some kind of a muscle car. I can't remember if it was a Charger or Challenger, and how he lost control of it and wrecked it. But just funny, just his perspective on things are very funny. Whereas the Warren Buffett that I'm looking into is very, very kind of straight and narrow, knows what he wants, go for it kind of thing. Donald Trump is kind of this headstrong guy that just lives for the challenge and lives to overcome the challenges. And Sam Walton is just kind of like this aggressive country boy that just loves competition. And it's so interesting, the things that I've gathered from them. But I guess in some regards, they're hearing these stories and hearing about these people benefits me on so many different levels. They each encourage those values. It's funny that right when I picked up the book on Arnold Schwarzenegger was right when I started doing push-ups, and how just hearing him talk about his thought on working out and sculpting the body, and how how that has influenced, given me the little bit of oomph I need to go home and actually throw some weights over my head every night, and kind of get a feel that energy and that good energy. And it's been a long time since I've lifted weights, probably 6, 7, 8 years since I was doing it regularly. So it's nice to have that feeling come back, and now I'm already looking into, where can I get this, this machine or this piece of equipment. So it's funny how all that trickles down, and the same thing, Sam Walton looking at the perspective of competition, studying people how to be one step ahead of everybody. Donald Trump, how looking into kind of being powerful and how to aggressively take on a challenge, and then Alexander the Great, just an amazing story of confidence and self-centered, being very centered in the self, and at a very young age, and knowing what he wants. And throughout this whole thing, I think, am I too old to be starting this journey? Going to be 40 is not very far away at this point. Just a couple of weeks. Enjoying my last couple of days of 30s. But I think about all these people that started. Warren Buffett started when he was 7. Alexander the Great was great by the time he was 22, 23. Arnold Schwarzenegger, knew from the time he was 10 what he wanted to do, and here I am, lost at 40. But I know, I think about, I have so much time left, and I don't regret the past. I enjoyed some of the freedoms of living in the zombie lifestyle. I enjoyed some of the fun that I had in my younger days. I do kind of kick myself. I was like, why couldn't I get in this frame of mind when I was 15 or 14 or even 25, even 30? Why did I miss this boat? But sometimes things happen in our lives for a certain reason at a certain time. So I'm aware of that too, and I accept that. It comes back to one line that I picked up from the Tao, that everything unfolds at a natural pace, as it comes. However, that alludes to the same thing, where every time I need something, the ether provides it in some way, shape, or form. I needed to cross that threshold into getting to breaking the 200-pound barrier. I needed to get to the threshold of wanting to run a 7-minute mile, and here it is a huge fitness guru, Arnold Schwarzenegger, is talking to me in my ear, and just great stuff. But then I noticed today, there's actually 2 voices inside of us, I believe. I consciously, I became aware of it today. I think I was aware of it before, but there is our subconscious, and then I think that the ether, I can actually sense the ether talking to me at sometimes. It's different than my subconscious voice. It's different than that constant communication I have. Sometimes today I noted a difference. It told me to do something, and I need to do it, and it's just very, very simple. It's just a slight difference to the voice. It's something I could tell it wasn't my subconscious talking to me, or at least I sensed it wasn't my subconscious talking to me. It was something else, something outside of me, and or inside of me, or all around me. It's however you want to describe it. But I sense that there are 2 voices, and it's interesting, because sometimes you don't want to listen to the one voice. The subconscious voice sometimes can be as detrimental as it can be positive, have a positive effect. So it's you kind of got to weigh that one. You kind of got to. And that's another thing too, is I've learned that I can kind of control that one. I need to teach that one how to talk. I need to teach that one how to communicate a little bit better with my conscience, and it's something that I believe I can reach in and control, and I'm learning to do that, and I'm learning to make the adaptation. But this other voice that I recognize today is different. There's always something that can't be defined always leaves an element of doubt to it. So there's always that, when I make a statement like that, I kind of doubt what I'm saying a little bit, but at the same time, I'm aware of what occurred and what was said. It wasn't anything too deep or too serious. It was just, do this, you need to do this. And I was like, okay. So, and sometimes that one's harder to listen to, because that ether voice is always right. And a lot of times it's telling us to do things we don't want to do. And when we hear it, we know it's right, but it's something that we don't want to do. It creates an interesting perspective, and creates an interesting challenge. So now I fall back on Donald Trump, and I want to I want to accept that challenge and do something about it. So I'm going to listen to the ether and take it on. But what else I got? I think that's it. I think that's good enough. Day 129, and I guess I was kind of looking for one thought to kind of tie everything together, but it's just, it is what it is. It's the world, our life, it has a way of just paying attention, just paying attention. It's funny too, because here's another thought I guess I wanted to allude to. When I notice when I start looking for something, those things just all of a sudden just appear. When something intrigues me or interests me. It was funny because the other day I was thinking about golf. I don't have too many relaxing things that I do, too many pastimes. I was like, why don't I ever get into golf? And I started exploring it and looking into a little bit of the history of golf and what it's all about, and thinking about things, looking at clubs. I know I've never golfed a day in my life. Next thing I know, I'm listening to Donald Trump talking about creating a golf course in Scotland and everything that entertained with that. It's just it's so peculiar how it seems that sometimes whatever I put out there really do bring back. So it's all in effect. It's all in effect. That's day 129. Hey, what are you doing today? Thanks.